Jan, Merlin, and Peter. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Perry from Cambodia, and I would like to ask you a question, everyone. Who has children? Put your hand up. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So today I'm going to tell you about raising children in Cambodia and New Zealand. All right. So I interview 5 people in New Zealand, and I'm going to talk about the differences and similarities of raising children in Cambodia and New Zealand. And similarities, both parents in New Zealand, according to people I interview, they have similarities between New Zealand family and Cambodia, similar responsibility. Both parents are proud of their children. They want their children to be best people. And the biggest similarity is that both parents want their children to get a good education. Moreover, both children in New Zealand and Cambodia, both parents in New Zealand and Cambodia want to get 2 to 3 children. And they like giving extra items such as books, bags, clothes, and some money to their children as well. Differences. Parents I interview in New Zealand usually give their children healthy food. They serve healthy food, whereas some parents in Cambodia don't, because some families are poor. On top of that, parents in New Zealand have higher responsibility, whereas parents in Cambodia, some of them have less responsibilities. Moreover, parents in New Zealand must send their children to school because it is against the law if they don't send their children to school. However, in Cambodia, some parents they don't send their children to school. If their children don't want to go to school, they can have work in the construction site to get some money. And the biggest difference is that some parents in New Zealand teach their children to be independent, whereas in Cambodia, some of the children are dependent. They live with their parents even they are 18 or after they get married. Another difference, some parents in New Zealand I interview, they teach their children to be brave, mean they are not scary. But in Cambodia, some children are shy. They're scared of something. They don't want to be away from their parents. And some parents in New Zealand, they take care of their children by themselves. Whereas in Cambodia, some parents get au pairs to look after their children or send their children with their grandparents. Moreover, during giving birth, after 3 months of giving birth to their children, to babies, parents in New Zealand still look after their children to grow. Moreover, in contrast, some mothers in Cambodia need to look after their children. No, they need to go to work after 3 months of giving birth to babies. See? And another difference is that both of them like giving different items. So parents in New Zealand usually give bicycles, like extra educational items such as clothes, bags, or books. Whereas some parents in Cambodia, they may buy expensive motorbikes or expensive cars for their children. So, in conclusion, based on my study research, I interview people in New Zealand, 5 people, and the biggest difference is that they want their children to be independent, right? And brave, whereas another difference is the biggest similarity is giving good education for their children, and the biggest difference is teaching children to be independent. However, raising children in both countries that I interviewed in New Zealand have more differences than similarities. And thank you. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.